after me in the last few days. My only distractions are we're in a little bit of a tropical storm, so the rain's coming and going really hard, and I can't hear anything when it's really loud because I'm under a metal roof. And I'll pass it on to Marco.
Thank you, Danny. Intentions, actually to hear what's going on with new illustrations. So if we're gonna get those or not. Then the second thing that you already mentioned, progress on the updates on the content for the common simulator, as well as getting an estimate on when we can expect to have it like fully completed and done, so that we can then hand over to the developers for like one-time revisions so that they can do it in one go. Those are my intentions. Getting updates on the progress on the backend stuff, like how's that's progressing or going. Now we've got some more developer help, I guess. And yeah, that's basically it. The distractions, maybe background noise. My wife is cooking over there, so if you hear some mixing or something like that, then that's only it. Yeah, and I pass it on to Craig.
Hello. For those of you that may not know me, I'm part of the Token Engineering Commons. I'm actually a steward for that group. And like Griff said, I'll have to listen to him blather on for hours today on multiple calls. My intentions are mainly to listen to you guys, multitasking and distractions constantly. So sorry about that. Who's not gone yet? I'm not sure. Sorry.
It's me?
Yep.
Okay. I have to select my intentions and distractions for meeting. Well, I think my intentions are like to understand the fast I can the project and how what's going on right now and what are the challenges right now. And I think my distractions are my dogs barking right now. And I have to shoot someone, right? Andrew?
Hi, my intentions are to see what's going on with the rest of the project and give a short update on what's happening on my side. I mean, on the simulation side. Distractions, nothing really. I'm quite enjoying having more free time now that I'm not hacking on the simulation full time, and also now that the Token Engineering Academy has finished. Oh, really nice. So I'll pass it to, I think that's it.
Yeah, I guess just me. Intentions are just to host a really fun call and enjoy everybody's company. And maybe at the end of the call, if you know, everyone wants to leave, and we can, I can take just a moment since Vito is here, and talk cadCAD tuning, answer some of his questions. Cool. Well, then let's just, I think this is going to be a quick call. Hopefully Simon comes in pretty quick.
Yeah, he's not answering me on Slack. So yeah, I can take over the front end update and just, you know.
Yeah, well, we'll do it last. I think we have a few other updates that we can
yeah, sure.
Awesome. And in fact, Danny's here for the first two, it sounds like. So maybe just any more words on the Illustrator, Danny? Because Marco was asking about that.
Yeah, I mean, she had a few questions for me, like what's the deadline? Do we want all of them redone completely to be consistent? And then I just asked her for a quote, and it's been 3 days and I didn't hear back from her with that yet. So I'd love to just be able to check back in with some really clear information that we can offer her to get some motivation. But she's great. I thought her drawings kind of really captured what we're going for with the solar punk and the blend of technology and the life. So I'd let her know that you guys thought her sample drawing was great. And so I just need to follow back up with her and maybe give her a little bit of information, like if we want her to do I gave her the document that we had that listed each of the illustrations and gave the detailed information. That's what I sent to her 3 days ago and asked for a quote on what it would take. And I think we have like 13 to 15 illustrations on that original document. So if we want to change any of that, I'd want to give her that feedback too.
May I say something?
Yes, please.
Or ask first. How did you approach her for doing the first mock-up? Like, what did you give her? What kind of information you gave her?
Very, very simple. I just said we're creating an online comic book with some time quantum leaping from a dystopic future to come back and change the past. It was a very brief conversation. I just said, do you have any examples of work that you think meet this? So then she sent me that piece that I shared with you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's where the creativity comes, when you don't overwhelm the designer with a huge amount of information. Just give him some briefly, and that's where she came up with something awesome. I would suggest, like, I don't think we need like 13, 14, 19 illustrations right now. I think we can just tell her or give her the page where we do have the intro page with those 3, 4, 5 illustrations that I just copy pasted from the old ones that I copy pasted. And we can just let her do whatever she wants to do, like create just 3, 4 of them or whatever, and that's basically it. And,
okay.
And we can live with the rest of the simulator. I don't think we need to now go back to the drawing board and then do everything all from the start. I don't think we need to go into that part.
Perfect. Glad to hear it. Simplify. Yes.
So if she get sorry, Griff. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, so do you know which ones I clearly need to be reworked a little bit? I know there's the one with her hands are kind of weird. Like some of the pictures that Naya and Kat had just needed like one more round of like fixing, kind of. I thought. I don't know if that's possible, but also it sounds like there are a few spots where we might need a picture or two.
So if I'm been right here again, Danny, I see you in the Figma. So there's like level 0, and there are 3 illustrations that I pasted in there on the level 0. So she might do those 3 or just 2 of them, because one she already did. And then at the bottom, at the very bottom of the Figma file, we have the bad future and the good future. And I just found some, background images for that. It would be awesome if she could actually design or illustrate the good future and the bad future. I think that would be awesome to have those 2.
Okay.
And that's basically it. And we're done.
Okay, so I think what I'm probably going to do is ask her, so the document I sent her can be like background reference. But now that we have this Figma and have each of those things, I'll ask her to really focus more on what's in the Figma and only refer back to that document if she needs more information.
Sounds good.
Okay.
What's the clearest way to tell her exactly which drawings she needs to do? Obviously, good future, bad future, that's really easy to communicate, like text out. But you mentioned these other 3, and I don't know if there's a way in the Figma to just put a box there and be like, add picture here or something like that. That's really clear.
There is one page with 3 images, the previous illustrations that we're using. So she can basically refer to those 3 and come up with something, whatever, completely new with it. I think she's awesome. She's creative, and she will think of something great. And just making sure that those illustrations are high resolution, and if possible, if she can give us like layered source file, so we can then take out those elements eventually, maybe do an animation, a video animation out of that or something, like, so that we're flexible in the future. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I shared with her that feedback and got a thumbs up.
Awesome. Thanks. Great.
Yep.
I talked with her like 2 or 3 months ago, and she told me that she needed to reformat her computer, and she doesn't have anymore the source files.
Oh, we're
Mm.
talking about a new illustrator.
We're talking about a different person here, I think. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
But
it's not
that's actually really valuable information, because that was one of her first questions is, do you want me to make edits to something that's existing, and how would I get those? And then from her creative mind, she actually like looked at them and felt like she would want to create consistency and potentially redo those, and could do it pretty quickly. So just to refer back to what you asked, Griff, about those few tweaks, if we don't have the original files to get from CAD and make those changes, then
Hmm.
for consistency of design flow purpose, we might just want her to sketch up something new on those
Yep.
two.
Perfect. Well, I think that nails it. Is there anything else on the Illustrator? Okay, cool.
No, well, one thing I'll just say is that the Google Doc that I'm doing with all the feedback slide by slide, I'll put flags for illustrations comments in there as well.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay, next topic is narrative update. So it sounds like it's time for some narrative revision. Is that true, Marco?
Well, it doesn't have to be the revision like fully. I think Danny already started. What I was referring to is just to go through the Figma. I basically copy pasted the narrative that Danny already worked on. Maybe cut the text in some places. Maybe cut a lot of text in some places. But just from just Danny diving into that, feeling that, going through the game and seeing if everything makes sense, or does need some editorial changes or edits or whatever, and that's basically it. Nothing major on that part, but I just want to make sure that we have that done, ideally early next week, so that the front-end developer will most probably be done by that time, and then we're going to do a round of testing. And once we do the testing and we send the developers all the revisions and tweaks or whatever, we do that in one go. So both the editorial changes, the changes of background images, maybe illustrations, whatever, so that the guys can just go ahead and do another, I don't know, maybe half sprint or one sprint, and make all these changes at once.
Is there a way that I can walk?
Early next week? Yeah.
Okay.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Guys.
Yeah. So the link that I have to walk through the simulator, I don't have a way to pause it and back it up. And I've noticed that there's like some timing things that I would want to give feedback on, or like pause it, because going through the Figma and looking at the slides is great, but I've actually found it helps me more to run through the simulator, but I want to be able to pause it. Is there a link? Is there something you could share with me that would let me do that?
Well, unfortunately not. There is just a staging link where you can actually live click through the simulator. So you can like go through that one, and then basically you would have to go to the Figma in editor mode, like open in editor, and then leave some comments there. Unfortunately, there is no pause button or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So do you need any help on that, Danny? Like, do you think that you'll be able to work on it this week? I know you have your hands full with Giveth and a million other things, so I'm curious if you feel
I
like
actually, yeah, no, I have two people who are so freaking interested in this. They're fascinated by it and giving me like fresh feedback while I work on it. The main thing is that deadline for that Giveth grant. Like, it's very research oriented, so I'm doing a lot of background searching to make sure that I have appropriate information in it. So that's my biggest time conflict. But early next week to have narrative draft feels reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you need any help, if things are getting like, over the weekend, you're like, uh-oh, it's not looking good, tell me and I can try to pull. We just did a bunch of hiring for comms, and there are a bunch of people that are like, oh, you know, I kind of want to contribute. So I have like a list of comms contributors that I could like just throw at you and maybe do a work session or something. I don't know. Sometimes managing contributors is harder than not, but at least
I would say if there's somebody who's coming on board that you think it would be helpful for me to build a relationship with and that it would be good for them to understand this, then send them to me. No.
I mean, of course, maybe, right? But like, it's not ideal for sure.
Okay.
And no
Okay,
worries,
then
Danny.
no.
It's not a hard deadline. No worries. Like, you know, but you know, ideally, you know, early next week, mid next week. I mean, I just want to make sure it does not like go over like in 2 weeks or something like that, or you know, you got to caught up with something else, and then we have to, you know, we get delayed by something, or just that. It's not a hard deadline. No worries.
Yeah, no, the timing is actually perfect. I just finished and ratified something else, and it's rainy season, and I'm not going anywhere for the next week and a half.
Cool.
So.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Man, still no Simon, but we have, what else is on the agenda? We have cadCAD update. Andrew, you had mentioned that you wanted to talk about some updates on the simulation.
Yeah, so what happened was that I changed the front end runner to, so now that you can specify how many days you want the simulation to run for. And then I actually ran that. And I found that, well, it starts out really quickly. And then as time goes on, it goes slower and slower and slower and slower and slower. And so it takes about 8 minutes to run 2 years.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm going to look into that. Apparently there's a different version of cadCAD that might be faster. I don't really know. So the good thing is there are Vitor and what's his name, the Ecuadorian guy again?
Gone.
Yeah, thank God. So yes, I can think about this kind of stuff.
Cool. And maybe if you make it an issue too, well, sorry, only if you don't want to work on it, then it's really important that you make it an issue so that these guys can see it better. Now that there's kind of a team, hopefully like issue management can be a good coordination tool.
Yeah, I'll make an issue, but I think I want to work on this one myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to work on it yourself, you probably don't have to make an issue, you know, unless it helps you. But if there's something, because you have that deep knowledge of the cadCAD thing, and you can see problems, and you can be like, I don't want to work on that. Now we have a team, so we just have to coordinate. And I think issue management is the best way to coordinate that.
All right.
Cool. And in fact, I don't know, Vito, if you've seen the one big cadCAD issue. Have you had a chance to check that out?
The one that has like the whole to-do list of the things that need to be done. Yeah. I saw it. A lot of stuff.
Do you know if that's up to date, Andrew?
It's mostly up to date. I have to look over it again to be sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, since we're gonna have a big hackathon tomorrow on it, so yeah, just give it a quick look and be like, oh yeah, I did that one check. Did that one check. And then we'll be good. Cool. So then I guess we're down to front end update. Marco, you want to take the lead?
Yeah, I'm going to take the lead. I pinged Simon again. He's not responding me, so no idea what's happening. But anyways, well, as Simon said last week, we're having slight delays for a couple of days. Luca had some other work to do. So we're just delaying the current sprint for a couple of days. From the front-end updates, everything has been done for this sprint except until level first. So we need to stylize the form, the input forms, the proposal input form, the funding input form, decision, and stuff like that. Other stuff like adding image assets, background images, and what else? Here, animations, transitions, and all that stuff has been done. And also, I sent Luca. I did the QA for this sprint, and I also sent Luca a bunch of revisions on the UI side, what needs to be done. So he has like a list of, I don't know, maybe 10 to-dos to fix, and he's most probably going to be doing that this weekend. So by the next week on the weekly, we're going to have those updates all done. We're going to close this sprint, and then we have that 1 week for the final things to do and finish. And for that reason, I was saying that it would be awesome to have all editorial changes and everything done and prepared, so we're good to go.
Cool. Any questions for Marco on the front end?
Yeah.
No?
Nope.
Okay,
right.
Cool. Well, I would say that if you want to stay, you can. This is the end of the call. But since I have Vito here, I figured, and Andrew, if you're down to stay, we could like kind of sync and onboard him into a little deeper into the cadCAD. If you're interested, feel free to stay, but also feel free to leave because
I'm gonna drop. My wife is cooking and offering me a cake, so I'm gonna go and eat a cake.
Yeah, have your cake.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Marco.
All right. Bye, Marco. Bye, guys. I'll drop too.
Hey guys.
I'll listen a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I will stop taking notes, but I will continue recording, and maybe I'll just share my screen. So Vito, I mean, maybe we'll start with just like, what are your big questions right now? Like, what are the big unknowns for you to understand what we want to do?
Okay, I went on the game on the website and I did it a few times, and I think I got the main idea. Went to the GitHub, and actually I think my main concerns are what are the priorities right now. So I'm not sure if the deadline to making all of these to-do lists are the 3 weeks that you told me, and like understanding where is the scope, like what we need to do in which time. And like understanding, as I see in this to-do list, like have the metrics that need to be done, fix some policies, and I'm not sure like where the priorities, what need to be done. And I think those are my biggest questions.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is we have a relatively easy scope. Oh, let me. Simon is joining, but I'm going to tell him to go home. We actually have a pretty easy scope, like pretty clear scope. So, I can't share screen because I haven't set up the Zoom yet, but okay, your questions are going to be hanging. Hey, Simon. Simon. Well, anyway, when Simon comes in, I'll let him interrupt. But the scope is really clear. It's like the user has 6 inputs, and then they get 3 outputs. The 3 outputs need to make sense, right? Hey, Simon.
Sorry, I'm late.
No worries. Actually, Marco already gave the front end update, and now we're just doing kind of bonus cadCAD tuning time. So if you have any... Yeah.
So if he lets you know anything, can I go eat?
yeah, you can just go eat. You're good.
I was completely late, didn't make it. Sorry to interrupt you guys and drop in. So yeah, Marco did everything and update you. So okay, then thanks.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you next sync, and I'll. Oh yeah, can I just ask? Okay, no, I'll have to wait because I have to ask you about Dharma thing. So I'll. Wait.
Well, you can ask. You can ask here.
No, I just wanted to ask if you've had any contact with him in the last couple of days, because I don't know. I talked to him yesterday and he mentioned you. I don't know if you talked in the meantime.
Dom, Dom, the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
in
yeah.
Seattle.
We got the payment through Giveth figured out, and there's this other token called Pan.
Yeah,
that
he told me
we got.
something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't got it yet. We'll probably get it this week, and so you'll get a really cool public goods shitcoin. So you get to
Awesome.
figure out what to do with it. Actually, Panvala is an amazing token.
Really?
I love them, but it is like a very small market cap, like volatile token. So
Listen, I'm gonna have to take a month for all these crypto things to catch up everything. I don't know anything except Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I have some Bitcoin on my wallet, and that's it. That's the extent of my knowledge.
yeah, oh for sure. Well, Panvala is off the deep end, man. You'll if you want to learn more, I can give you some.
Okay, yeah.
But every coin is a rabbit hole, you know. So.
Okay, so I'm not gonna, break rain on your parade, I think is the expression. Is it something like that? I'm gonna let you go back to what you were saying, and I'm gonna go grab some dinner. So talk to you next week.
Thanks, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Griff. Sorry for not being here.
No worries, man. See you, buddy. Okay, so yeah, the scope is clear. We have 6 inputs. We have 3 outputs. The 3 outputs are these graphs, right? The graphs need to make sense, and not be completely bullshit. Like, and by make sense, I mean sometimes with some inputs they fail. Like bad scores happen and good scores happen.
Yes.
And that's another piece that's in the scope. That's going to be a really fun scope, I think, is like taking the outputs of these graphs and figuring out a score. Like
okay, like you have like the 3 graphs, and you have to make like the one score that goes at the end, the kind of computation.
Yeah. So like, and each graph should have a score. And like for some of the graphs, specifically the price of the token versus and the funding pool, both of those graphs are versus time. Generally, if the price of the token is going down, the funding pool is going to grow. So the funding pool score and the price of the token score should be kind of counter to each other. So, and that's what's cool. And that's kind of the cool thing is that like, there's going to be like the best score is going to have like an average score for these two and a really good sentiment score is probably like going to be the best score. But who knows? We should see what we do. The other thing is that this is a game. So we can kind of tweak it, we don't have to be like, oh, this is what's happening in real life. Nothing's happening in real life. It's a video game, So
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we can take some creative license. But yeah, so we should be able to get good scores and bad scores from the 3 outputs. And if you have, and we need to do some like sensitivity loops, for each of the 6 inputs, so that we can try to optimize the sensitivity of those inputs for the system, So like if someone has sorry?
Like check the impact of the changing only one of the inputs. They're saying like changing the sensitivity of changing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's a pretty standard data science thing, like the sensitivity tests. That's what Sargon was telling me, at least. He made it sound like, anyone who does data science should know. I don't know anything. Andrew isn't really a data scientist either. More of a badass dev that wrote really beautifully documented code. But, in the end, we need this other set of skills, which you and Gon seem to be experienced with.
Okay.
And these are in the GitHub issue. I wish I could share my screen because ideally we would go line by line and just talk about some of the issues. But I think the plan will be for you and Gon to divide and conquer, kind of take on some of them. Maybe one person takes on sensitivity, the other person takes on this. And you guys will have to talk a lot with each other because obviously you change one thing and it changes everything, So We'll have to see exactly the best way to coordinate this work. But we'll probably talk about that more tomorrow.
Sure. That'd be great.
Yeah. Any other? What else you got? Any other kind of?
Actually, I think my thoughts were more generally actually, because I hadn't time to go deep into the code already. Like yesterday, we talked to Andrew, and it was really clearing. But I think the next step would be try a little bit more in the code, trying the simulations, to understand how the system behaves, and getting like the data behind cadCAD, and understanding, like plotting some graphs and understanding how the code is in right now. So I think that's I had more general doubts, not so specific, because I haven't studied in depth the project.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it's beastly code, but it's really fun, man. There's some cool stuff. Like, how do people decide to vote for each proposal? And which proposals do they like, and which ones don't they like, and what happens if a proposal passes and they don't like it? How does their sentiment change? I mean, I don't know. It's really a cool, like, if you're into crypto and governance, decentralized governance, having this like social opinion on what will change the sentiment. I don't know. I think it's wild.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Actually, I haven't like got a lot of touch with like crypto yet, because I was more doing epidemiology modeling in it, and I'm like trying to study more and trying to get into this area right now, and it's really nice because you try to model the social behavior and social dynamics between people and how they act, and it's really interesting, and I'm really eager to work more on this.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, and you're gonna get paid in crypto too. So
yeah.
Bye, Craig.
Bye.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so that it's gonna be you're going off straight into the deep end, and it'll be fun, man.
Yeah, sure.
And if you need anything, if you have any questions at any time, put it in the CSD dev channel, because
sure.
It's kind of, everyone's interested in this stuff, and they get to live vicariously through you. So like, if you have a question or something, it's kind of fun to see what's up.
Sure. Yes, I'm doing electrical engineering, and I'm having a little class like today, but I have like I feel time of which I don't have classes like tomorrow, and I'm trying to get my free time with studying like decentralized governance and all the blockchain stuff, and I will for sure try to study more and talk to the people, and it's a really nice network in there.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Anything you need. Just the CSD dev channel is your go-to spot. So, well, cool, man. If you have any more questions, I can do that, but we can also just end it. And
yeah, sure. Then I can type to you and ask some questions. It would be great.
Yeah, really. And tomorrow at like 5 p.m. Ecuador time ish, maybe 6 p.m. 5:30 to 5:30 p.m. Ecuador time, and then throughout the evening, we're just going to have a working session. So that's pretty late for you, I think. I think that's like 7 p.m. for you.
I'm not sure what's the difference. I think it's like 5 or it's 7. Yeah, it's 7 p.m. 5 is 7. Yeah, it's 2 hours plus. Yeah, I think it's
so
reasonable.
Not so bad.
Yes. Yeah, not that late. Yeah, it would be great. And like you said, that it's gonna have like a hackathon on this part of the code. How it's gonna be? Like,
yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna be more about coordination and just like going through the to-do list first and then hacking second.
Oh, nice. I think it would be better to like understand better how does it work and what's the structure of things, and I think it could be a good environment tomorrow. So
yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna run, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Great. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you for everything.
Andrew.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Andrew.